We're starting this deep dive with a quote that is just intensely personal, but it says so much about ambition at the highest level. It's from Ha Yoonjin, and she's talking about the moment she heard Ella Seraphim might be playing the Tokyo Dome. She said, "It felt like someone whispering, 'You don't have to be ashamed. You're allowed to dream.'"
And that feeling right there, that idea, that's the core of what we're exploring today. This whole deep dive is about Ella Seraphim's 2025 Easy Crazy Hot Encore concert, specifically those 2 nights, November 18th and 19th, at the Tokyo Dome.
And the scale is just, it's hard to even picture.
Yeah.
80,000 fans, they're fear not, all gathered over 2 nights. But our mission here is to figure out why this huge achievement, something they reached in just 3.5 years, was something the members said they had forgotten or even given up on.
It's such a strange paradox, isn't it? How can you forget a dream that big?
Exactly. How does that kind of success make you lose sight of the goal?
Well, I think it's about momentum. 3.5 years to get to the Tokyo Dome is lightning fast. I mean, in this industry, that's almost unheard of.
So much pressure, constant work.
Unrelenting. And the sources describe it perfectly. A journey that felt fast, but also somehow slow. You're just so focused on the next day, the next performance, that the big picture, the why, it gets abstract. The Tokyo Dome stops feeling like a real dream and just becomes a target on a chart.
Wait, I'm trying to wrap my head around that. If the success was so immediate, so fast, how does a dream like the Tokyo Dome get forgotten?
Yeah.
The source mentions Yoonjin was having a hard time. Was that because of the pressure or something separate?
It seems like they're totally connected. I mean, look at her reaction. The sources are clear. The concert wasn't even confirmed. She just heard someone say, "We might go," and she started crying immediately.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. So for her, someone who was apparently struggling, the idea of the dome wasn't just another show, it was proof. The sources call it a ray of light. It was this validation that all the sacrifice hadn't just been for a machine, that she, as a person, was still allowed to dream.
That's a really profound way to put it. It completely changes the meaning of the concert. It's not a career milestone. It's existential.
And that personal breakthrough then became a shared promise with the entire audience.
Right.
The whole theme that came out of this concert was that the dream didn't just happen to them, it bloomed with Fear Not. It was mutual. And she made this incredible vow to the fans. She said, "Because Fear Not made us believe again that we're allowed to dream, we'll take you to the most incredible places."
See, that is so critical. The source material isn't framing this as just a great performance. It's a mutual achievement. It's an exchange. The artists get their dream venue, and by doing that, they give their fans permission to believe in their own forgotten dreams. That's a powerful bond.
A really powerful bond. And it started building way before the first note was played.
Okay, so let's pivot from that deep internal emotion to the actual physical environment. What was it like around the Tokyo Dome?
The fan commitment was a spectacle in itself. It was a chilly November day, but the sources just describe this incredible heat coming off the crowd. Apparently, the line for merchandise wrapped around the entire venue.
The whole thing.
The whole building. This isn't just people showing up to listen to music. This is real commitment.
And it was visible, too. It wasn't just merch. The sources say fans were dressed in outfits inspired by the stage costumes, and they were filming dance challenges right there in the plaza. The group's concepts are really part of the fan culture.
Yeah. And we have some great specific stories. There were these two college friends, Elena and Anji. They bonded over the group's bold style, and they were there filming a challenge for Spaghetti, just embodying that confidence.
That's amazing.
And then you have Ran, a fan from the very beginning, who brought her friend Masaki. He got hooked at an earlier show in Saitama, and what they admired was both the performance, the professionalism, but also the genuine bond between the members. So fans are tracking both the spectacle and the sincerity.
And all that energy, it just funneled right into the show's opening.
Immediately. The opening was all about building that tension. They used these narrated intro tracks, which is something they do on their albums, and it flowed right into Ash, a really powerful track from their 5th mini-album, A Hot Tea.
So the choices they made in the performance right from the start were designed to amplify that feeling.
Totally. They went from hot into come over, creating this push and pull within the sound, and the stadium just lit up. The fimbongs, their light sticks were everywhere, and the fan chants were just thunderous.
And this is where we get into the technical side, the choices they made that really backed up that emotional narrative.
Right. The sources really stressed their decision to use handheld mics for the whole show.
The whole show. With their choreography, that's a huge risk.
It's a massive risk. You need perfect breath control, perfect stability. but it signals something really important to the audience.
What's the message there?
The message is confidence. It's them telling 80,000 people, what you are hearing is real. It's live. We're not hiding behind anything. It's that easy concept, again, making the incredibly difficult look effortless.
And performing at that scale meant they couldn't just play the album versions of the songs, could they?
No way! The sound has to be totally re-engineered for a venue that size. Take easy. They rearranged it into a rock version just for the concert. It gives it this punch, this weight that can actually fill a dome. It becomes an arena rock anthem.
It's more than just a technical tweak then. It's changing the song's whole identity for that space.
Exactly. And they did it with other tracks, too. Smart became this faster R&B soul version to inject energy. Fire in the Belly got a tropical arrangement to balance things out. They even added Flash Forward to the set list just for Tokyo, using it as a way to get physically closer to the fans.
Which brings us to stagecraft. A place like the Dome is enormous. How did they connect with the people in the absolute nosebleed seats?
They used some classic but effective large-scale stagecraft. They had a trolley cart, a moving stage, that took them around the floor while they performed songs like Blue Flame and So Cynical.
So everyone gets a good view at some point.
Exactly. And my favorite detail, they used a bazooka gun to shoot sign balls into the upper decks.
A bazooka gun. Okay. That's one way to do it.
A memorable way. But even with all that tech, the crowd's energy was so immense it actually broke through to the performers.
What do you mean?
Well, Kim Chae-won said she was shocked by how loud the cheers were. The roar was so deafening, it was piercing through her in-ear monitors. She had to turn her own volume up just to hear herself sing. That's acoustic proof of the audience's role in the show.
If the audience was that loud, let's talk about the heart of the performance itself. The sources pointed to a few stages that really balanced that huge spectacle with this new sound sincerity.
The absolute anchor of the spectacle was Spaghetti. It was chosen by fans and the members as the kickiest stage. It's pure Ellie SRFM confidence.
And for the Dome, they scaled it way up.
Way up. They brought in a huge dance crew, added a special dance break. They made sure that fan favorite moment felt absolutely massive.
But then, to balance that, they had the moment that anchored the sincerity.
That was the new fan song, Pearlie's My Oyster is the World. And Yunjin read the lyrics herself. This was the opposite of Spaghetti. No big choreography. They just stood at standing mics.
A standing mic setup. That's the universal sign for listen to the words. It's all about the message. And that message ties right back to the beginning of our conversation.
It really does. Yunjin explained what she was thinking when she wrote it. She said, "Just as a pearl is created through pain, I wrote the lyrics thinking that every experience becomes something meaningful and that pearl is fear not."
Wow. So it takes that vulnerability, the pain of giving up on a dream, and it explicitly names the fans as the beautiful thing that came from enduring it.
Precisely. And that sincerity then explodes back into this massive feeling of unity right before the encore.
The big sing-along.
The whole audience jumping together. And then Chae-won yells her signature line, "Be my comrade," which just solidifies everything.
And the visual of that moment must have been incredible.
The source calls it a giant ocean of light. Fans created this massive wave with their light sticks, and it just transformed the entire dome. And of course, you can't forget the medley, just this flawless, high-energy run-through of their biggest hits, Fearless, Unforgiven, Anti-Fragile. The live band sound was apparently a huge standout here, pushing everything even harder.
And then finally we get to the encore, which started with a bit of a fun twist.
A very lighthearted twist. They performed Kawaii, which is the theme song for the Netflix series My Melody in Kuromi. And My Melody in Kuromi actually came out on stage. It was a moment of pure charm before the real emotional weight landed.
And that weight came from Sakura.
It did. She's been an idol for 14 years. She talked about her first time performing at the Tokyo Dome 11 years ago and admitting she didn't get it then. She didn't understand what the stage meant.
But now, standing there, she did.
Now she did. And she was so open about her career, the doubts, the hardships. She even said she sometimes wondered if she should have just given up.
That's incredibly vulnerable to say on that stage.
It's the peak of that vulnerable reflection. And she ends with this incredible vow. She says, "But because I didn't give up for 14 years, I get to witness this view. If I'm born again, I still want to be your idol." It's the ultimate validation of her entire life's path, confirmed by that crowd on that stage.
Yunjin really brought the whole thing full circle, didn't she? She came back to that initial idea that the Tokyo Dome news was like like validation for a part of herself she thought was lost, something she was too embarrassed to take out again. It's about seeing the value in something you thought you had to throw away.
And her final pledge hammered it home. We'll be artists you can be proud of. Because Fear Not made us believe again that we're allowed to dream, we'll take you to the most incredible places.
And then the show just wouldn't end.
It just wouldn't end. The sources say they performed a club version of Crazy over and over again while riding the trolley cart, just extending that moment of pure joy for as long as they possibly could.
So when we put it all together, what's the big takeaway from this? The sources show us this massive, professional, perfectly polished performance. They made it look easy.
They did, but the foundation for all of it was this deep, shared vulnerability. The reality that the whole journey was not easy at all. And the real achievement of the night was everyone in that building, the artists and the fans, giving each other permission to dream again.
And what this deep dive really shows you is that even at the absolute peak of a profession, what drives real success is having someone see the value in a part of yourself you thought you'd lost, whether that's a goal or an ambition or just the permission to be proud of where you are.
It's a lesson that applies to anyone, really.
It does. And so we want to leave you with one final thought, and it's based on that beautiful metaphor from Yunjin's lyrics in Pearlies.
Given that a pearl is created through pain, through irritation, we want you to ask yourself, what experience or struggle in your life right now might be turning into your most valuable pearl? What forgotten dream are you now allowed to take out, polish, and start working towards again?